We've all been there, standing in front of a door, knocking, waiting, hoping. Sometimes we knock so hard our hands get tired. Other times we try to force our way in, thinking, if I just try harder, if I just push more, this will happen. But have you ever stopped to ask, is this the door God wants me to walk through? See, not every opportunity is an invitation. Not every open door is a blessing. Some doors look good, but they lead to disappointment, distractions, or even destruction. That's why we need God's direction, not just our desires. Think about it. Have you ever prayed for something, wanted it so badly, only to realize later that God was actually protecting you by closing that door? Maybe you didn't get that job, that relationship didn't work out, that opportunity slipped away. At the time, it felt like rejection, but now you see it was redirection. Delays are not denials. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. God isn't just opening doors, He's preparing you to walk through them. He's building your strength, refining your character, and shaping your heart, because when He finally opens the right door, you'll be ready. So don't force what isn't meant for you. Don't waste time on doors that won't lead to purpose. Instead, trust, pray, wait, because when God opens the door, you won't have to push, you'll just have to walk in. And when you do, you'll know, you'll feel it, you'll have peace. Because the door God opens will always lead you to something greater than you ever imagined. So let go of the wrong doors and let God open the right one. Opportunities come in many forms: a job offer, a relationship, a business deal, a promotion. Each of these can seem like an open door inviting us to walk through. But just because a door is open doesn't mean it's meant for us. Not every opportunity is aligned with our purpose, our growth, or the plan God has for our lives. Some doors, despite looking appealing, may lead us down a path of frustration, distraction, or even destruction. Understanding that not every door is for us requires wisdom, patience, and a deep trust that the right doors will open in their time. We often chase after things simply because they are available. The idea that an open door automatically means a divine opportunity can be misleading. Many people make life-altering decisions based on convenience rather than calling. A job might offer more money, but take us away from what truly fulfills us. A relationship might feel exciting, but pull us away from our values. A shortcut might seem like a blessing, but lead to compromise. It is easy to be drawn in by what is easy or available, but not everything presented to us is meant to be part of our journey. Consider a scenario where someone desperately wants a particular job. They do everything in their power to secure it, believing it is the perfect opportunity. But after getting the position, they find themselves stressed, unfulfilled, and constantly questioning their decision. The open door seemed like a blessing at first, but in reality, it was a detour. Sometimes what we perceive as an opportunity is actually a test. An invitation to choose between what looks good and what is truly right for us. There is also the risk of forcing open doors that were never meant to be walked through. Many times people manipulate circumstances, compromise values, or push their way into places they were never meant to be. They chase relationships that drain them, careers that bring no joy, or business ventures that were never aligned with their skills and passions. The result is exhaustion and disappointment. Just because something is within reach doesn't mean it is meant to be grasped. Learning to walk away from the wrong doors is just as important as recognizing the right ones. It is also important to understand that the wrong door can delay or even derail the journey to the right one. When we settle for less, we risk missing out on something greater. Choosing the wrong relationship can delay the right one from coming into our lives. Taking the wrong job can keep us stuck in a place that prevents us from growing into our true potential. Saying yes to every opportunity can spread us too thin and keep us from focusing on what truly matters. There are moments in life when we have to pause and ask, is this door meant for me? Is this opportunity aligned with my values, my purpose, and my long-term growth? These questions help filter out distractions and prevent unnecessary detours. Sometimes a door may be right for someone else, but not for us. It can be hard to watch others walk into opportunities that seem perfect while we wait. But comparison can be dangerous. What works for one person may not be what's best for another. Trusting that not every door is meant for us requires faith. It requires the ability to say no, even when everything in us wants to say yes. It requires patience to wait for the right opportunities rather than settling for whatever is available. It also requires discernment to know the difference between an opportunity and a distraction. Many doors will appear before us, but wisdom allows us to choose the ones that lead to true fulfillment rather than temporary satisfaction. When we start to see life this way, we begin to realize that closed doors are not punishments, they are protections. A rejection today may be a redirection towards something far greater. A missed opportunity might be the very thing that makes space for something better. Instead of feeling discouraged by closed doors, we can begin to see them as signs that something better is ahead. The right doors don't have to be forced open. They open effortlessly in their due time, leading us exactly where we need to be. Waiting can be one of the hardest things in life, especially when you feel ready for something that hasn't happened yet. You pray, work hard, prepare yourself, and do everything in your power to move forward, but somehow the breakthrough doesn't come when you expect it. This can be frustrating, discouraging, and even confusing. It's easy to interpret a delay as a denial, to think that because something hasn't happened yet, it's never going to happen. But the truth is, just because something is taking longer than you expected doesn't mean it's not going to happen. A delay is not a denial. Sometimes a delay is actually a sign that something greater is being prepared behind the scenes. Many times we assume that when things don't happen immediately, we must be doing something wrong. We start questioning our abilities, our worth, and even our faith. But delays don't always mean rejection. They often mean preparation. There are times when we think we're ready for something, but in reality, there are still lessons to learn, experiences to gain, and growth that needs to happen before we can handle the blessing that's coming our way. Imagine receiving a gift that you aren't fully prepared to handle. If you step into something too soon, you may not be able to sustain it, and what was meant to be a blessing could become a burden. In life, timing is everything. Just like a seed planted in the ground takes time to grow, our dreams, goals, and prayers often require patience before they come to fruition. If a farmer plants a seed and digs it up every day to check if it's growing, the seed will never have the chance to develop strong roots. The same is true for us. There are seasons of waiting that are necessary for strengthening our foundation, developing our character, and equipping us with the wisdom we need to handle the next level of our journey. The waiting period is not wasted time, it's a crucial part of the process. When we experience delays, we often compare ourselves to others who seem to be moving forward faster. We wonder why someone else got the promotion, the opportunity, or the breakthrough before us. But comparison can blind us to the fact that everyone has their own unique path and timing. Just because someone else's door opened first doesn't mean yours won't open at the right time. The delay you're experiencing might be protecting you from stepping into something prematurely. It might be shielding you from unseen challenges that you're not yet equipped to handle. Sometimes, what looks like a delay is actually divine timing, ensuring that everything aligns perfectly for your success. There are moments when we push and push, trying to force something to happen before it's time. We become impatient and frustrated, thinking that if we just work harder, move faster, or take matters into our own hands, we can speed up the process. But rushing things can often lead to unnecessary stress, mistakes, and even regret. When we try to force something before it's ready, we risk settling for something less than what was meant for us. Just like fruit that is picked too soon is not as sweet, stepping into something before the right time can rob us of the full joy and fulfillment that comes with divine timing. Delays also teach us trust. When everything is happening according to our timeline, it's easy to feel in control. But when things don't go as planned, we are reminded that we are not the ones in charge of timing. This can be humbling, but it can also be freeing. It allows us to let go of the pressure to have everything figured out and to trust that the right doors will open when they are supposed to. Trusting the timing of our journey doesn't mean being passive. It means being faithful in the present while believing in the future. It means preparing ourselves, staying ready, and continuing to grow so that when the moment arrives, we can step into it with confidence. Another important thing to remember is that delays often allow for better opportunities to come our way. Sometimes we think we want something only to later realize that there was something even greater waiting for us. If everything happened according to our own plans, we might settle for something good and miss out on something extraordinary. A delay can be a sign that there is a bigger blessing ahead, something beyond what we initially imagined. What feels like a setback can actually be a setup for something far greater than what we originally hoped for. In the midst of a delay, it's important to stay focused and not let discouragement take over. It's easy to become frustrated and lose motivation when things don't happen as quickly as we want. But the waiting season is not just about waiting. It's about growing, refining, and becoming the person who is ready for what's next. The way we handle delays determines how prepared we are for the opportunities that eventually come. If we remain patient, persistent, and faithful, we will be ready when the right moment arrives. No matter how long the wait, the right opportunity will come at the right time. The delay is not a denial, it's a preparation, a protection, and a positioning for something greater. Instead of fighting the timing, embrace it. Instead of feeling frustrated, trust that there's a reason for the delay. When the time is right, everything will fall into place in ways you never expected. Life is full of opportunities, choices, and paths that we can take. Some doors open easily, while others remain closed, no matter how hard we try to push them open. In our pursuit of success, happiness, and fulfillment, we often find ourselves knocking on doors that seem promising, but lead to frustration, emptiness, or regret. This is why it is important to understand that not every door is meant for us. Some doors may lead to temporary pleasure but long-term pain, while others may seem unappealing at first but lead to purpose and fulfillment. The doors that God opens, however, always lead to a greater purpose. They are not just about success or comfort. They are about aligning our lives with His plan, walking in our true calling, and experiencing the kind of peace and joy that only He can give. When we try to open doors on our own, we often rely on our own understanding, desires, and ambitions. We chase after things that seem good on the surface: money, status, approval, or security. But without purpose, these things leave us feeling empty. Many people achieve their goals only to realize they still feel unfulfilled. They have everything they thought they wanted, but something is missing. This is because success without purpose is meaningless. No amount of wealth, recognition, or achievement can replace the sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you are walking in the path God has set for you. His doors don't just bring worldly success, they bring a deeper sense of meaning and direction. One of the greatest challenges in life is discerning which doors are from God and which are distractions. Some doors look good at first glance, but lead to confusion, stress, or compromise. They might offer quick rewards, but come at the cost of integrity, peace, or long-term happiness. When we force doors open that are not meant for us, we may find ourselves struggling in places we were never meant to be. We might feel restless, overwhelmed, or dissatisfied because we are walking in our own plans instead of God's. But when God opens a door, things align in a way that we could never orchestrate on our own. There is clarity, peace, and an undeniable sense that we are exactly where we are meant to be. God's doors often require patience. Unlike the world, which pushes us to chase immediate success, God's timing is perfect. And sometimes that means waiting. Many people give up too soon because they assume that a delay means denial, but just because a door hasn't opened yet doesn't mean it won't. God may be preparing you, shaping your character, and refining your skills so that when the door does open, you will be ready to walk through it with confidence and wisdom. When we trust His timing, we avoid rushing into opportunities that we are not yet equipped to handle. Another sign of God's doors is that they lead to growth. They may not always be the easiest or most comfortable options, but they challenge us to become better, stronger, and more faithful. God's doors often require us to step out of our comfort zones, take risks, or trust Him in ways we never have before. But these challenges are not meant to break us. They are meant to refine us. They help us discover our true potential, deepen our faith, and prepare us for even greater things ahead. A door that leads to purpose is not just about what we gain, it's about who we become in the process. When we walk through the doors God opens, we find peace. Even in the midst of uncertainty, challenges, or setbacks, there is an unshakable confidence that we are where we are meant to be. Unlike worldly opportunities, which often bring stress, pressure, and fear of failure, God's doors come with a sense of security. They do not require us to compromise our values, manipulate situations, or strive endlessly to keep things together. Instead, they flow naturally with His provision, favor, and guidance leading the way. God's doors are also aligned with His greater plan, not just for us, but for others. When He opens a door, it's not just about personal gain. It's about impact. True purpose is always connected to serving others, making a difference, and contributing to something bigger than ourselves. Whether it's through our careers, relationships, or personal callings, the right doors allow us to use our gifts, talents, and experiences in ways that bring value to the world. The opportunities God provides are not just about achieving personal success. They are about fulfilling a greater mission that brings meaning to our lives and glory to Him. Sometimes God's doors don't look like what we expect. We may think that purpose always comes in the form of a big promotion, a dream job, or a perfect situation. But God often works in unexpected ways. A door that seems small may lead to something greater than we imagined. An opportunity that looks insignificant may be the very thing that prepares us for our true calling. This is why it's important to remain open to His leading, even when the path doesn't make sense to us at first. The right door is not always the biggest, the most obvious, or the most glamorous. It's the one that aligns with God's plan. Walking through God's doors requires faith. Sometimes the path ahead is unclear, and the door may not come with all the details spelled out, but if we trust Him, we can walk forward knowing that He has already gone ahead of us, preparing the way. Faith allows us to take steps even when we don't have all the answers. It helps us move forward even when the road is uncertain. God's doors are always doors of faith, requiring us to trust Him more, depend on Him fully, and surrender our plans to His greater purpose. When we let go of the wrong doors and wait for the right ones, we position ourselves for the kind of success that lasts. The world offers temporary rewards, but God's doors lead to lasting impact, deep fulfillment, and a life of meaning. No matter how long it takes, the right door will open at the right time, and when it does, it will be far greater than anything we could have planned for ourselves.